Hey y'all, it's 5:55 in the morning. I have to go to school today. But this kind of came to mind and I just figured I wanted to do this now. It just felt necessary to my being. So, which sounds really weird. But anyway, so you probably saw the title, Techno Talk, and we're what are we, talking in robot voices to some music or something? No. I just want to talk about technology and kind of how it's affecting us in today. This talk was inspired by the book Free to Fall by Lauren Miller, which is a really good book. I was actually going to do a review for the book, but I just never got to it. And then, I read another book, so I figured I might have forgotten too much or, just my mind's in another place. But anyway, yeah, it's a really good book, and I recommend it. And I liked everything except the romance. I'm very picky with romances because if I know these two people are going to end up together, I'm just I don't know. And there was just other things. Anyway, the book, it really inspired me. It really made me think, and that's what I liked about it so much. And it was the conflict had a lot to do with technology, and it was pretty much about technology. And all these people were they weren't making their own decisions because they were depending on an app to make the decisions for them. And it turns out ended up having to do some it messed up their brains or something. And anyway, I started thinking about how, even though, if we don't really get, brain damage from our little, devices and such, they do, affect us. It's almost like a drug, basically. We get addicted to it, and maybe it doesn't harm us physically. It can kind of harm us mentally, or we just feel like we always have to have it with us. We're lost without it, when really we can live perfectly fine without technology. And there's all these different social medias, and you feel like you're talking, but you're not really talking. Okay, so obviously I use Facebook to talk to my friends who live 5 hours away, because that's how far I moved away from them. And that makes sense. And I also I try to write letters to them sometimes, especially if they're not on Facebook. There are other ways of communicating with people, and I'm sure you have all your excuses. And yeah, I get it sometimes that just this is what works out for you. But have you ever thought of just actually calling them and hearing their voice, or just making an actual written letter? Because I promise you, those things are so much special than messaging on the Facebook Messenger app. It really is. And of course, it's not just social media. I mean, there's apps for everything nowadays. You can pretty much just take up your whole day looking at apps and playing games and listening to music. Pretty much anything that keeps you closed in on your little device, away from the rest of the world. You may not really understand the impact, but it really does. You see the people at restaurants or parties, and they're just on their phone, and it's they're there, but they're not really there, and you don't know if you should go up and talk to them or just leave them alone because they might be upset or something, or you know what I mean. It's really awful, especially when you're out with family and stuff, and people are oh, I'll just go on Instagram or something. And I'm just you, especially when it's people you don't see that often. I'm here right now. Don't you want to talk to me? just a thought. I don't really think the internet is totally bad, but another thing the book is showing is how much technology is going to progress. How far is it going to go? And you might think, oh well, it'll never push past this limit, or it'll never go this far. But people back just a few decades ago never thought technology would end up the way it is now. So what's really there to not expect? You kind of just, it's inevitable. Technology's just gonna keep going, I think, the way it is, unless some big thing happens and it's all just crashes or something, or people finally decide, they don't need technology and they, just start not using it anymore. Crazy, right? And I can go into how, like, there's more digital music than CDs, or more digital books than paper books, but, that's saving trees, essentially. So, that's something, like, that kind of depends on the person. Some things just work out better. Of course, I prefer actual books, but if you're still reading, if you're using a device, that's fine. But I see so many teenagers using them in school, and it just lowers their grades. And apparently, teachers aren't allowed to, like, take their cell phones away from them, is what I heard. What? Like, I think a teacher should be able to take someone's cell phone away. Like, they can give them referrals and stuff, but that's not going to keep them from using them. Sometimes you really have to take action, okay? We're still children. We make tons of mistakes, and we're selfish and stupid and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I kind of have a little challenge for you guys that I will participate in. In November, I tried, like, being off my iPod more, and it did work until, like, almost near the end. I decided to go on just for once, and then I got addicted again. It's just like drugs, I swear. One time can get you hooked, it really can. And you need to be careful. You need to set limits for yourself, no matter how hard it is. So, one day this week, it can even be today. Just start today. It'll be easier that way. I want you to not go on the internet at all. I don't want you being on your phone either. I want you to, like, look up and see the world around you and talk to people, make relationships with them, and just enjoy life, okay? Because it's the only life on earth you get, alright? I think that's all I have to say in this little sort of rant video. Comment what you think down below, unless you decide to be off the internet. In that case, get off the internet right after you like or subscribe. God bless you guys. Seriously, I pray for this country and for this world. Alright, well, bye-bye. I'll be making a new video soon.